This discussion kind of sounds like it could be useful to everybody, because one of the things I was going to do today was talk about the last project. Questions on specifications of the project or anything like that, and then I want to talk a little bit about different ways you might go about solving it. Yep, I am recording it.
I have different parts of the project working, but after my first input of the user art, it doesn't accept any more input. After I did some research, it said that the user art was interfering with the timers, but I'm not sure how that works.
The UART was okay, you did some research. What kind of research? Like, where did you get that information from?
Just a regular Google search.
Okay.
Stack
And
Overflow.
It said the UART is interfering with the timers.
Because I have all the different parts working, the LED brightness and the 7-segment display and minimum and maximum. But just when I combine them, when I input my first command, it accepts the first command and then goes to that specific section of the code. But after that, I can switch into a different one.
Okay. What you are experiencing is a very common system integration problem. When you put all the pieces together, they don't work. And the idea of one thing conflicting with another thing is very common. I'm not sure how the UART, how the timers and the UART could interfere with one another.
That's just my guess, but I'm not sure if it's totally correct.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad thing to consider.
And also another thing that I saw is that some variables have to be volatile or something like that.
Yes, quite. I mean, certainly your value that's on the 7-segment displays has to be volatile. Probably your the constants that you set OCR A0122 to, you have to may have to be volatile.
Wait, we're using the 7 segments on this? I thought we were using the LEDs.
We are for the
Doing both.
You're using both, depending whether you're on LED mode or in a 7-segment mode.
Oh, okay, so we're making it switch modes?
Yeah, both of those have to work depending on which mode you're in.
Okay.
Could you remind me, how do we switch between the LED and segment modes again?
The putty.
Okay, I mean what the command is, or how you actually do it?
How we would do it, like on the chip.
Okay, the key to whether the LED works or not, or any of the 3 LEDs, is that port C bit 3. If that bit is a 0, then none of the LEDs are going to work. So that's the common anode of the LED.
Okay.
So if that bit's 1 or a 0, that's going to control whether you're displaying something on the LED or not. The 7-segment displays, it's going to be the combination of port D and 4 bits of port B. And I know there's a bit of an overlap there. And when you're in LED mode, you might see a couple of segments on the 7-segment display flicker, and that's okay. That's not a big deal.
That's okay, because I've seen that too.
Yep, no, that is okay.
Okay.
There's no way around it.
Particularly when it's red, that's when it does it for me.
Yes, yep. That's because the red is D6, which is segment G. So if you've got the blue or the green on, I think, then you'll see the segment G on the 7-segment displays flicker, and that's acceptable.
So Ben, I was thinking I'm going to hash the user input. Like, you don't know how hash tables work, but I'm going to have a hash table for the user input and then a switch case to change the mode. So that should all be constant time.
All right. Let me,
When we're doing the pulse width modulation for the LEDs, would we want 3 timers to be used at the same time for each LED? Or would we somehow figure out a way to use one?
oh, no, you've got to use the 3 timers because each of the pins, let me just bring up the data sheet and documentation data sheet and share my screen. All right, do you see the data sheet now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, click faster than I intended to. All right, but if you see the data sheet, we're good. So let's just go to pin configurations here. And the okay, the red LED on D6, that's timer 0, and that's the only thing that can control the red LED. And timer 1 is the only thing that can control port B1, which I have a note here. I did. Yeah, port timer 1 controls the green LED, and timer 2 on B3, OC2A, that controls the blue LED. So you have to use 3 different timers. And
What are the ports and bits we set the timers to again?
what's the question, Ben?
Which ports and bits do we set for the timers again?
Okay, well, timer 0 is PD6 or the red LED. And again, you should be able to see on your screen what I'm, okay, just highlighted that.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, pin D6, that's timer 0. This is PB1, pin 1 of port B, and that's timer 1, which is connected to the green LED. And timer 2 is connected to B3 or the blue LED. Now, when whoever it was that said the timers and the UART might be interfering with one another, I just happen to notice here. This transmit for UART 1 is on B3, which if you were using UART 1, that would definitely be a problem. But
Yeah.
UART 0, which is on D0 and 1, if I can find those someplace. Whoops, that's a lot farther back than I wanted to go in a minute.
Too far up.
Right here. Your cable is tied to transmit data 0 and receive data 0. Pins 0 and 1.
Well, that would explain a lot.
Okay, yeah, you understand what's going on, AJ, don't you?
Yes, I see the problem.
Yeah, and I do too, and I'm not sure what to do.
What's going on? Can you fill me in?
Well, yeah, the 7-segment display uses bits 0, 0, and 1, which are also the transmit and the receive.
Oh,
Which is why it works when the shield is off.
Yeah.
okay, so we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, this might be more trouble than it's worth, but maybe forget the 7 seg and the potentiometers can output to the putty window.
I mean, yeah, we could do all kinds of things, but what I really wanted to demonstrate was the fact that you can have multiple devices interrupt driven. And if you're just spitting it back to the, yeah, you could like, yeah, push the button and it spits the value back to the putty window, but that takes an interrupt driven device out of the picture, which is kind of defeats the whole purpose.
I'm thinking, what if we have like two different UART statements? Like we have UART1 for the LEDs, and then UART1 for the LED, and UART0 for the LED, and UART1 for the 7 segment. Like we switch UDRs depending on whether we're setting something to the 7 segment or the LED.
Okay, well, keep in mind with UART0, it is already got a max, I'm not sure, I think it's a UD6 chip, but some kind of a max 232 chip, which to the USB and to your computer. UART1 isn't really connected to the outside world through a USB cable.
Oh,
So conceivably, I mean, you could, if you had a SK10 socket, you could put a max 232 on it. You need another USB cable to go to your computer.
So we're supposed to be using UART1, right?
No, UART0.
UART0?
Because
And that's why
UART0
it's
is the
not-
only one connected to the computer.
And that's why it's not playing nice with the 7 seg.
Yep.
huh. This is a pickle.
Now, what I thought, on mine, really it only affects one segment. And I thought I just had a bad segment because I'd sent out every board I had and I knew the board I had was flaky, but I thought it was just that segment. But it's not the segment, it's the code. Or it's the situation.
So maybe you could let
Which
that segment flow.
which segment is the one that doesn't work, like on the 7 segment? Which one?
It would be probably segment B that doesn't work. Either segment A or segment B.
Okay, and we kind of need that.
So maybe you could limit the range to 999 and leave out the one segment that doesn't work.
Well, it's not one digit, it's
Not
one.
one digit, it's 1 segment.
Oh, yeah.
That's the issue. I thought it was a digit until he explained it.
B is the top right bar, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Well, this sucks.
Right, there's gonna have to be a major change of plans.
Well, there's going to be a change of plans, and it's going to be probably make it easier for you.
That's fine. I like things to be easy, just when it comes to programming.
It might be a problem for next semester, though.
That is true.
I'm thinking about, Dr. Costa's not going to be happy, but I'm thinking about changing the board and doing another run.
So what does that mean for
September,
us?
yeah. For next September, but for you guys, all right, for you guys. Um, In the original plan, I was going to do the LCD display with this, and that would have alleviated the problem.
Wait, is the LCD display serialized?
It is, is it I2C or is it SPI? I think it's either I2C or SPI, which are two interfaces that you'll actually look at in 388. Normally, I dabble in those two interfaces a little bit, but the SPI and the I2C. If we go back to the data sheet here, okay, they use it's S clock 0. C0.
So if it is I2C, then you wouldn't need the segment table, right?
True, not to do the LCD display, that's true.
Right. So that would really dramatically change the lab.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not, and I mean, normally there's a display and there's a lab rather where you interface the LCD display to the processor. And what can I find? Okay, there it is. So, yeah, normally you could do the LCD display with either the SPI or the I2C interface. All right. So. All right. I guess we're going to, let's think out loud here. It may be ugly. All right.
Maybe what you could do is you could, when you put in the command, you could temporarily turn off the UART and still use the potentiometers for some set period of time, and then turn it back on.
Could use the UART. But in order to display anything on the 7-segment displays, you need to be constantly refreshing them. So,
Oh, I know. I was thinking that maybe you could turn off the receive, transmit, and interrupt flags when you're setting that up for like 30 seconds, and then you could do the refreshing on the 7-seg with the potentiometer.
So you type a command. You press enter, disable the UART for 30 seconds is a long time, but say 5 seconds, potentiometer, and then the display is off. So then the display goes blank and the UART works again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, on the surface, I guess that makes sense to me. Just complicates it a whole lot. Or I almost would be in favor of developing a different character set that simply doesn't use A and B for,
Or displaying the values.
yeah. Let me see if I can come up with that. Let's see. That could be 2, that could be 3, 4 I've got, 5, 6, 7, 0 could be.
So we'll be doing this in Gallifreyan by the time we're done.
I like the way you think. Yeah, all right. All right. This is what we're going to do. I just need to come up with a couple of more characters. I need to come up with a 8 and a 9. That's going to be my 8. All right. What I'm going to do is add a new page to this handout, and I will post it back up. Oops. All right. Let's go to Courier.
Wouldn't segments A and B still be kind of like array after though?
They,
Because for me, when I display a
Yeah.
1, it kind of looks like a 7.
yeah, they will be flickering. And the only thing I guess you can do is ignore them. Yeah, I think you'll just need to ignore them.
Oh, and will you be giving us the display patterns for the new character set?
Yep, that's what I'm. Can you see what I'm typing right now on my screen?
I only see a bunch of paragraph characters.
Same here. That's all I see for now. Oh,
you
and Andy, due to the problem with segments A and
Oh,
B.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So the all right. So let's see. How do I do this? All right, I guess I need to turn off marks. No, don't change it into ellipsis. All right, character 1, that's the character 1.
One on the left side.
Yep.
But don't we need a 0?
Well, okay, I guess I could do 0 first. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, 0 is going to be all right. That's going to be 0. That's going to be 1. Zero, 1, 2 is going to be
Remind me again. Segments A and B are the top and then the right top
and
parts.
top and top right. Yep, top and top right, array and B.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
All right, that's going to be 2. I guess actually might as well make that 2 as well. So that's 2, 3. I went totally mental on. Okay. That's 3. It's almost an inverse 3. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so 1, 2, 3. This would be 4.
Yeah, that looks a good 4. Looks like a 4 upside down.
All right, okay, 4. Then 5 is going to be that. 6 is going to be an actual 6. 7 is going to be kind of a mini 7.
Do we have it set to a value that can't be an upside down 7?
We could do an upside down. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do an upside down 7. Okay. 8 is I think 8's just going to be that because we can mess with this a little bit. And 9, I was going to make just that. Just want to look back. And actually, so we can put these all on one page. Let me put my paragraph marks back here a second. And I'm going to say, insert break. Where's section break? Page break, blank break, color page. Breaks. Continuous. And then I want to do columns 2. And all right, I've got zero, 1, 2, 3, and then layout breaks column. Okay. All right, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Upside down, 7, 8, and 9. All right, I think we've got a set of unique characters there, most of which are almost recognizable. So that's going to be your new, let me save this now. All right, so that's going to be your new character set. All right, so really, if you had the lab completely written and it just didn't seem to work right, and you would have changed your seg table, everything should then work.
Well, this is going to be fun to debug.
All right. No, sorry about the.
Even the UR problem that I had, because
Okay, well, the UART problem, the problem I thought people were going to come to me today with, that I was going to talk you through, and I expected you to come to me with, when you do a get string or an fget string or whatever you do, however you get input in, your potentiometers are going to stop working because you're not reading the potentiometers using inputs. Nor am I encouraging you to do. You can, but I'm not encouraging you to do that. So, I mean, conceivably, if you really wanted to get cute, you could take timer 4 and set up some sort of an interrupt routine. And every time timer 4 fired, you could read the potentiometers and update whatever you needed to. Right, not necessarily encouraging you to do that, but that's a solution. The other solution is you need to write some sort of a routine to check and see if there's anything in the queue. If you go back to, I don't know if anybody's ever dabbled in old style BASIC or something like that, but there is an in key call that returns a null if there's no keys waiting in the buffer. So you need some sort of a routine, and that was sort of what I was expecting you to ask today. You need some sort of a routine to see if there's any keystroke in the buffer. And if not, you just want to read your potentiometers, update whatever, and update the values or the OCR values, and continue on. Now, if you wanted to get really cute, again, and use timer 3, I guess, or timer 4, and just whenever that timer fires, and you could check it every, I don't know, every 500 milliseconds or something, 250 milliseconds, and read the pots at that point, that adds another level of interruptions. That's up to you. So you've either got to check and see if the input queue, the receive queue, has something in it, or you've got to run the pots off of it, or put the pot querying routines in an interrupt routine, which fires every, I don't know, anything between 100 milliseconds and, I don't know, 1,000 milliseconds, something like that, depending on how fast you want the timers to update. All right, that was not exactly how I expected today's class to go, but I think it's a issue that has been solved. All right, just to reiterate, there is not another test in here. There is no final in here. This project is your last project. The lab report, it is as important to have a good-looking lab report as it is to have a running lab.
is this lab worth any more than the other labs?
The answer is yes. Did I talk about how much?
I don't think so.
You
I
said
forgot.
you'd have an answer soon.
All right.
I think you said the normal labs was 33%, the first test was 33%.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So this lab is 33%, test is 33%, and the remaining labs and projects are 33%. I don't think anybody's going to be heartbroken. I shouldn't assume. Is anybody going to be heartbroken if I make the test in this project worth less and the average of all your other labs worth more?
No, I will not. be
No, I would
heartbroken.
like
I
that.
will accept it.
That's
Okay. I thought that was going to be everything is so fluid. I would like to do what can help you. I've got to count the test sum. I need to count this lab report heavier than other labs, but at most it will be 33, 33, 33. I would like to maybe, and again, I really want to look at the numbers before I decide this. What I'm kind of thinking is all of the other labs are worth 50%. Test is worth 25. This lab is worth 25, something like that. But this is an important piece.
Do you want me to just grade it as like I would like any other labs, or and then you'll do all the percentages, or
Yeah, I grade this like any other lab,
okay,
and I'll just in the spreadsheet I just do the grades that you give me, and then I'll assign percentage weights to it.
okay, sounds good.
The other thing, let me what am I looking for? The key thing on this lab is to be discussed is it's supposed to be trade-offs, and I'm not sure what you traded off here. But if there's anything you thought about doing it this way or that way, highlight that, because that's what this last lab was supposed to be, and that's what it's gonna, the ABIT committee that looks at it, that's kind of what they'll be looking at. So, and they've been told that it's not going to be, was not the lab I originally intended to give at the end of the semester. But if there's anything on trade-offs, how we, I'll put a blurb in there how it was originally going to be a choice of an LCD display or an 8-digit 7-segment display that only needed 3 wires to make it work, because there was an additional chip on a supplemental board. And this was the trade-off to make it work on the 4-digit display. I'll put something like that in there.
Wait, what?
Well, okay. The original way this lab was going to work, there is another board which will plug into your development board. Takes 3 wires to connect it. Here's my development board. I don't know. If you look just to the right of the LED display, there's a 4-pin header there. What's that labeled?
Which direction? To the right?
Yeah, there's to the right of the LED,
It's
to the right of the
labeled
7-segment display, there's a 4-pin header.
Yeah, it's labeled screen.
Oh, and is it covered by the screen? They're covered by the header? Covered by the 7-segment display?
Yeah, but I can see it under.
Okay. Is it labeled I2C?
Just the screen.
Oh, okay. All right. So in addition to an LCD screen, you can also plug into there, I believe, it's another chip that was on another board, which will control 2 of these 7-segment displays using only 4 wires. And so you can actually just write what value and which digit you want to set. And this chip just keeps track of what needs to be strobed and everything. So one possibility in this final lab, which was actually going to be more of a calculator, One possibility is to use a LCD display. One possibility is to use an 8-digit 7-segment display. And I'm not sure what the other there was another possibility, but trade-offs was one of the things that was going to get discussed or supposed to be discussed in your lab report. I'll give you a little bit. I'll take a look at what the ABIT criteria is, and I'll give you a little bit more information on that on Monday.
I mean, we could spin this whole new character set as a trade-off.
Well, it is, and yeah, and I think you should. That that because of the way the course ran, this was a trade-off that we had to make. And
I mean, inaccessibility of supplies is a real problem, so.
Yep, yeah, yep. Yeah, if you really want to ham it up, the supply chain was, didn't happen, and this was the substitute we had to make in order to ship it on time or something like that.
Make ABET happy.
Yeah. Or to demonstrate proof of concept, maybe would be a better way to put that.
So is this going to be updated to the write-up?
Yep, the write-up, yeah, let me, this is on my machine. In order to update it, I've got to sign off and VPN in. All right, and it's saved as a PDF. As soon as I sign off here, I will update this to the, I'll update it to something. I'll update it to the M drive. Right. The other thing, oh, I should mention this. The other thing I'm going to do, somebody brought to my attention, if you are using the, not the VPN, if you're using the, if you're using VMware, there is no application on the VM server to listen to the MP4 files. I am going to create a folder. It will be ECE160.org/ECE263. I just don't want to register another domain. So ECE160.org/ECE263. And I will put those video files there so you can watch them on your own home computer.
I was able to find a way to watch the videos on the M drive.
Okay, please share.
I had to click on use a different program. Like there was a pop-up screen and there was blue text saying that we had to use a different program.
Yep.
I chose one of the web browsers. My personal opinion was Firefox, and I was able to watch the videos just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Firefox is the superior MP4 player.
Yeah, especially since the only other option is Internet Explorer.
Yeah, okay, because I tried that and it wanted to download the video. I was expecting, because the Firefox on my local machine will do that. I tried that on the VMware and it wanted to download it. But if it works, I forget who asked that question, but.
That's strange because it did it on it wanted to download it on the Explorer, but not on Firefox when I did on VMware.
It might be somewhere in the settings. Something about embedded videos.
Yeah, but the setting, oh, you know, where I've got a different profile than you do, maybe my profile is set differently and it works for you.
Maybe.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's true.
the answer is, I guess, right-click on the video and say open with, and then select Firefox, and Firefox apparently plays MP4 files.
Yes.
It worked for one of you, it should work for everybody, because you, your profile is generated on the fly every time. My profile, if I change something, it well, for the most part, it stays. I've what's called a static profile, and you've got a roaming profile. Maybe the other way around, but your profile, you can't really save anything. I think if you put something on your desktop, next time you come in, it's gone. Is that right? Like if you put a shortcut on your desktop,
Yeah, that's true.
it's gone. Okay. On,
I was
on
able-
mine, it stays.
For me, I was able to move like the M and Z drive to my desktop, and
Yeah,
it was
mine's-
able to stay.
Yeah, mine's
Stay.
pretty
Like-
much customized.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe it keeps some things and
Yeah.
gets rid of others. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. I know you have different profile settings than I do in terms of what you can save. So that it may be at one point I set it so it didn't play or it had to download, and that's been changed, and you get the updated setting. So, but for whoever asks the question, right click on the video, select open with, and Firefox, and that people say work, so that should work.
Yeah. Window might pop up. Just click the blue text, and
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
if that window does pop up.
Okay, so again, in that case, I guess I won't do that because that's just another thing to maintain.
Less work you gotta do.
What? Yeah. Alrighty. Any other questions?
None right now.
Next week's the last week of lab, correct?
Next week is the last week of lab, yes.
Oh boy.
Last day of class
Last-
is the 29th though, which is Wednesday.
Classes end at, let me stop sharing it. Classes end on Wednesday's the last day of class, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought it was
Wednesday
Monday.
is the last day of class. Okay, I guess, how many people are having finals? Are people having finals, and how exactly is that working?
Yeah, we're given the 3-hour block to do the exam.
But it's not usually a longer exam.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, we still get study day on Tuesday, right?
What, Tuesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
On Thursday, I think.
I don't think it would make a difference.
I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't know. Let me see if I can pull up a calendar. Hold on. UMassD.edu academic calendar. '20. Yes, okay. 29th Wednesday is last day of classes. Thursday is a study day. Friday, final exams begin. So, yep, so next week is the last week of lab. That is correct.
Okay.
Okay.
For the Friday lab, is the lab report due next week or?
Let me look at when I gotta have grades due. Okay, Kevin, I need to have grades from you by May 7, 6, May 7th at the latest. When
Okay.
do you want labs in?
Doesn't matter to me. I'll make it happen.
Okay, so why don't you plan on a May 5th at midnight for a last day of labs in,
Okay.
and everything that you plan to hand in needs to be handed in by 11:59 p.m. on May 5th. And that will give Kevin a day or two to correct it, and that will give me a day to figure out final grades.
For us, they're due May 5th, right?
So for you to do now, all right. The concern is Usually, if you're a couple of days late with the grades, if I'm a couple of days late, I get a very sternly worded letter from the provost and absolutely nothing happens. This year, we've already been told you have to get grades in by May 10th at the very latest, because of you guys have to be able to decide if you want to take a pass no credit or a letter grade. And that deadline is May 15th. So the grades absolutely have to be in by May 10th. So, yeah. All right, so I can live with May 6th at 11:59 p.m. is the last possible time to turn in anything. 11:59 on May 6th.
Okay.
So, okay. And then Kevin, if you can turn those around in 48 hours at the absolute most, I can make the deadline work.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody good?
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
Be
So yeah,
safe.
have a good weekend, Professor.
You too.